Good evening, everyone. This is Tammy Bosley, principal of William Paca Old Post Road Elementary School. We are here tonight from 7 to 7:30 for another one of our virtual family engagement evenings together. We're so happy that you were able to join us. Tonight, we're going to be focusing on social emotional learning and mindfulness. And you'll see on the slide that families who attend will receive a social emotional mindful learning kit for your students. So that's really exciting. Tonight we have myself, Tammy Bosley. We have Mrs. Abigail Small, who is our school counselor in the Old Post Road building that's going to be sharing some information with you. We have Mrs. Mary Cahoe. She is our early childhood teacher specialist. We have Samantha Reynolds, who is a 5th grade teacher in the William Paca building, and we have Mrs. Brittany Godfrey, who is our Title I teacher specialist. You've seen this slide several times, so I'll go over it very briefly, but just as a reminder, all of our live team meetings are recorded. The recording has already started, so you will be able to go back and access this video after we post it to our school website and social media sites. There is somewhat of a lag time with the slides, so just hang tight. As we transition to each slide, the visuals will match the description of what the presenter is sharing with you. You will have an ongoing opportunity throughout the entire presentation to submit any questions, comments, suggestions in the question and answer box, and we will have time at the end that we will try and go over some of the questions. Ones that we can't answer, we'll be sure to share when we share the video link on our social media and school websites. Again, it will be sent to all families, and you can expect for it to be posted. Right, so I hope you enjoy this evening. I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Brittany Godfrey.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I know you've also seen this slide before. This is just notifying you that we are at the end of this graphic and our team is busy planning our next event. Again, tonight is our social, emotional, and mindfulness night. Our next event isn't until after the new year, so we'll see you again January 8th for a reading night, which we've already started planning, and we have a lot of good things in store for you. We will give you a little more information for some housekeeping things at the end of this presentation. So I'm going to turn it over to our mental health team and they're going to take it away.
Good evening, everyone. This is Abigail Small, the school counselor from Old Post Road Elementary. Just going to come on and share some tips, tricks, mindfulness strategies, and overall SEL learning. So you'll see here on your screen, holiday stress. The holidays are traditionally and typically characterized as being loaded with stress. That's because we set high expectations for ourselves. We also are in the middle of, that hustle and bustle going from here and there, loaded, busy schedules, and really high expectations. So the numbers you see on your screen here actually are some pre-COVID numbers or BC, those before COVID days. When we, we have always seen an increase in stress around the holidays. So even 64.3% of Americans reported that they experience an increase in moderate stress during the holiday season, with 20% feeling overwhelmingly stressed. We know that stress has lots of negative impacts on our bodies, our brains, and kind of our overall daily function. So as we go through the next few slides, I'm just going to be offering some suggestions or ideas on how to manage that stress. Holiday stress. So we know that it has a ripple effect, just like many of the other emotions that we experience. Children are like sponges. They learn from our behaviors and how we manage our emotions. Over the last few weeks or few months, actually, we've been talking with the students about how to manage their internal weather or how to manage the emotions or feelings that they're having. And that largely comes from, the science behind that, which is that once we know how to identify our emotions, we can manage them by using strategies. And I'll review some strategies with you in just a moment. But holiday stress or stress in general does have that ripple effect. So if we as adults struggle to manage that stress in a way that's safe, healthy, comfortable, and appropriate, we see children respond the same way and kind of leading to cracks in our foundation. So that's the reason for those two visuals you see on your screen there. So stress looks different in adults and children. We know that as adults, stress can build in our muscles. It often leads us to have headaches, a decrease in appetite, but in children, it might look different. So for them, it could look like increased irritability or anger. So they might be more likely to lose their temper or react more strongly towards smaller triggers or things that normally wouldn't upset them. Clinginess. Holidays are often characterized by spending time with our families and loved ones. So you might see an increase in that with your children or child at home. Crying, whining, complaining. You definitely might see this with a child who is experiencing an increase in stress or a child that might be feeling your stress as well. Sleep troubles. I know that kids are not alone in this. As adults, we experience this as well. An increase in some of those somatic symptoms, so headaches, stomach aches, or physical symptoms, more or less eating than usual. Appetite is greatly impacted by stress, and it really depends on the individual. So, for one person, it might lead to an increase in eating, but for the other, it might lead to a decrease in appetite. And then isolation and refusal to participate in activities is another sign of stress that we see typically in children. Mindfulness. So mindfulness is the name of our game here at WPOPR. It's something that we advocate for strongly, something that we work and teach with or teach our children on the regular basis every single day. Your child or your student is learning with us some mindfulness strategies. And these strategies can absolutely be adapted or utilized within the home. Mindfulness it benefits the child in so many different ways, and you see a list of a few ways that mindfulness can improve your child's daily functioning, their executive functioning, and their mood overall. So, as a school, and that really is, I hope our goal tonight is to teach you some mindfulness strategies to use at home with your child to continue that learning that we are giving them in the classroom and in school, or in the virtual classroom and in school, and transitioning them into your home, because not only does mindfulness help children, but it also helps adults in many different facets. You can move on. Thank you. So we know around the holiday season, we often put so much of our focus onto others, and we tend to forget about taking care of ourselves. So here on your screen, you see a December 2020 self-care calendar. Each day has a small idea of something that you can do to help you, focus back on yourself and onto your self-care and your own self-love. These things can also be done as a family. I think one of the nights is, watch a funny movie, go to sleep early. So although you can do that individually, it's definitely something to do as a whole within the household. We know that the holidays are traditionally categorized as spending time with our loved ones and our families. And this year, I think, that's more important than maybe it ever has. And spending quality time with our small or our nuclear families can really help improve our mood, but not forgetting to take care of ourselves and not getting lost in that hustle bustle that comes along with the holiday season.
Hi, everyone. So you may have seen about SEL all over the place, or our social emotional learning, and you've probably heard on our social media and everywhere about mindfulness as well as this incredible buzz that's going on. And we wanted to kind of just ground you in what we've been doing as a school, because we've been working on this for a while, but we also have been that kind of keeping up with the times and transforming along with all new research. So SEL skills, by definition, are the strategies one has for managing their strong emotions, for navigating relationships, for working well with others, solving problems, and then also making responsible decisions. And SEL skills really pave the way for our positive life experiences. And we know that part of positive life experiences is having positive learning experiences. So mindfulness is just one important aspect of our social emotional learning, and it involves being in that present moment and then also able to understand our needs. So as Ms. Small said, during this time of year, there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of busyness. So really, we spend a lot of time noticing when we need those settling moments as a school. We need time to have those mindfulness parts. So mindfulness and social emotional skills allow us just that ability to focus and participate in our instruction. And at WPOPR, we understand that if our teacher is able to focus on instruction, to problem solve, to make decisions, that means that they can give higher quality instruction. And then we also understand that if our students are able to better focus, to work collaboratively with each other, then they'll have higher quality learning and they'll take in more information. So if you see on the screen here, when you think about mindfulness, you might see some pictures of, traditional yoga or people meditating and saying Om and those kind of things. But our big thing of pushing the understanding of mindfulness is that mindfulness is not just breathing and it's not just yoga. It's really all of those acts of looking inside yourself and really mature skills. So we understand that different strategies work for everyone, and part of our teaching at WPOPR is very big on teaching different skills of concrete breathing, of hands-on breathing, where they have an activity with it that they can see, but then also some strategies that are just inside your head of reflecting. So we're also very big on trauma-informed practices. So we use our mental health team, as you see tonight, and then also look into research to make sure that what we're doing is supporting our students. So you'll see here a big part of our journey at WPOPR with these practices is that they really do impact academics. Students can learn better when they have social emotional learning skills and then when they also have mindfulness practices in their lives. So we provide small groups on social emotional skills and mindfulness. We provide whole class lessons. You'll notice during your specialist time or other times that your students are receiving really practical skills about stress, about their lives, their emotions. So Mrs. Reynolds is going to talk to you about some ways that we're tackling this as a school before we tackle some ways that you can address this at home.
Hi, everyone. So since the start of the school year in September, all of the students have been receiving mindfulness and SEL lessons during the morning meetings with their teachers. As you can see on the screen, each month has an essential question or a theme. So for September, we were really focusing on what their internal weather was and teaching the skills of noticing your thoughts and how you're feeling and how to react to those. For October, we were building on the theme from September, and we talked about the changing of the seasons and then related to the changing of the seasons inside of you, such as your thoughts and feelings. For November, we had a theme of attitude of gratitude, and this went really well with the holiday with Thanksgiving, and we talked about how using gratitude to create joy and build positive relationships. We focused a lot, especially in the intermediate grades, with positive affirmations and building self-confidence within our students. Right now in December, tied along with what Abby had mentioned about the just holiday stress, we are talking with our students about sustaining a sense of calm and recognizing the need for settling moments. So on the next slide, we just did this actually with students yesterday in the intermediate grades. We talked about a snow globe and how when you shake a snow globe up, everything inside of it gets jumbled up and the snow is swirling and swishing everywhere. And we had them reflect about when is a time in your life when you feel like that snow globe and like you're swishing, everything's jumbled up inside and your emotions are going crazy. And so once they had that moment in their mind, then we brought them back to, okay, so as you hold the snow globe still and it settles, how do you then settle yourself? And we used just, when I did this lesson with my 5th grade students, I used a water bottle and some sprinkles that I had in the house. So we really are giving them concrete examples and materials they can use in their home to create these manipulatives and strategies that they can then use for themselves. So this was just the graphic we showed the kids about really explaining the, when you shake up a snow globe. So a lot of teachers on Friday will be getting these resources, but then also part of your grab bag, if you will, for this family engagement night. You'll be getting some resources to help you with your students with creating your own snow globes. And Mrs. Cahoe put a lot of different examples on here because we really want to stress that this strategy in particular, along with all the other ones that we're using in our morning meetings, are adaptable and not just for a particular age. So we have some that are actual snow globes that you can make in a water bottle. There is one that is a drawing one where students could draw how they're feeling. We have a totally virtual one. That was a really neat activity. And then there's also a jar as well.
So as Mrs. Reynolds said, you will get a copy of the settled snow globe in your grab bag, and then also all of the tools to make your own snow globe at home. And a lot of our teachers are doing that this week with their students, but then also we've noticed that a lot of students are bringing in their own traditions, which is a great part of the holiday season, and they're showing snow globes that they have or different things that they have at home. So a big part of this is understanding that there's so many strategies out there and there's so much going on, and really thinking about which strategies work for me as a family. So you'll see a graphic here. This is just a guide of, talking to your child or your student during virtual learning, maybe when things are frustrating, or at any time when the holiday stress is there, having that signal with each other of, don't have a meltdown, keep your cool. And on here is a bunch of ideas of counting to 10 or going for a walk or, writing down your feelings. So our big part of our SEL practice for our students and our time for them for part of their mindfulness is really thinking about and reflecting which strategies work for them. So we have here an idea that would be very important for the home at this time of year is to sit down together and to create a list of choices. Students do the best with visuals. So if we create a list of choices with our child, it shows them which strategies they like, and then they can also take ownership of. So we have one here. Obviously, we just talked about our snow globe, but as a family, you could write down, when I feel upset or when I feel all shaken up, we could draw a picture or we could go for a walk. Now, if you're in a place where you don't feel like you can go for a walk at any time, then you wouldn't put that on your list because then you wouldn't have that struggle. So really thinking about which strategies will work for your family and creating that list to put in a place where you can see it at all times to use. So we wanted to share a couple different strategies that we're using in the classroom, but that can also be extended at home. One calming strategy that we talk about a lot is breathing, and breathing is something that always comes with you and is something that you can notice at all times. You notice that your breath gets faster when you're frustrated or that it gets slower when you're feeling calmer. So those parts are really important for our students to understand. And we also teach them that there isn't that time that you're bad at breathing or I hate breathing, because it is hard to focus on our breath. So a lot of times we use concrete strategies and we use visuals. So in your kit tonight, you will receive a popsicle stick snowflake, and we have ideas for our younger students of decorating their breathing snowflake, and then also ideas for our older students to make it a little more intricate. And then in your classroom, you'll be learning some snowflake breathing with just a visual. And you'll see here there's a QR code, and that can take you to a video that actually teaches how to do this activity. So we wanted to give this for you of tracing and breathing really focuses your mind and body because your finger is working along with your breath, and it kind of distracts us in that moment. So there's a calming breathing strategy that you can add to your settling choices list. a lot of times during this time of year, it's hard to focus either at work or at school, and a lot of us need those tools. So something that will be in your bag and something you can create at home is a focus tool or an affirmation snowflake. And there is a video on how to make this, and you'll receive one, but it is something that you can provide for beads on a pipe cleaner, and you can do this in a snowflake form, or you could just put it on one pipe cleaner, and moving those beads back and forth while saying a focus affirmation like I can be focused really helps us to focus our mind, focus our body, and provide something for our fingers to do while we're learning. So there's another tool to be ready to learn. And then also just thinking about mindful moments. Everyone loves, a time when they have a cup of hot coffee or a cup of hot cocoa that's really warm, and they hold it and they take that first breath in or that first sip, and it feels great. One of the things that we are teaching students is talking about hot chocolate breathing or hot soup breathing, where they pretend they have this cup of hot chocolate or coffee and they feel its warmth and they get so excited, and then they take these nice steam breaths in and breaths out and really get in a comfy, cozy moment to be ready to learn. So an extension you could do at home is, you could give your student a mug to practice this on their own. You could have them make a paper mug and decorate it to hold in their hands as another concrete example. Or in our kits, we've provided you with a paper cup to decorate to just have as a visual. Now, Mrs. Marianne Clinton, who's one of our assistant principals, she's on the call here. She has already gotten one of these kits, and I can tell you that her student, who's in Harford County, has already put these things in place in her little learning spot for virtual learning. So she's using the calm down tools whenever she needs them. And then you'll see on the side, just mindful moments during this season. As Miss Small said, that self-care and that focus, there's so many times when we're checking our email at home or checking our phone or looking at social media, really taking time to plan. I need to do this, to plan some times where we can fully focus on what we're doing, like cookie decorating or looking at lights. And our big example we show students is this idea of a dog. When our human is walking a dog, they're thinking of all these other things. And when a dog is walking, they are just thinking of that walk. So planning out some of those settling moments. And you may notice that our students have virtual calming rooms for all grade levels. And this is something that they can practice anytime they need. So this could be something that is on your settling moment choices. And I noticed a lot of our families are using the one from HCPS, that virtual calming room, but then we also have some themed ones for our school specifically. So these are things you can always use because they're at your fingertips with your screens.
All right, thanks, Ms. Cahill. Really, the only question that wasn't answered in the chat, just confirming when those kits are going to be available for parents to pick up.
Sure. So we have a form in the chat, and that is really just for us to know who has our kits and who is excited about this so that we can share more strategies with them. But the kits will be available. They're already at school. Our William Pega building is open from 8:30 until 3 each day. And then we also have on the form, if you have a hard time getting to school for that, please contact me, Mary Cahill, at hcps.org in order to arrange a time for you if you need a time that works. So we'd love to have these in your hands for you to use.
Great, thanks, Ms. Cahill. Really, everything else is just kind of a thank you and praise for our school for giving attention to the social emotional learning. And again, everyone, the link will be posted tomorrow on Facebook for you. And last, we just have a gentle reminder, our next family engagement event will be after the new year. It's a Friday, January 8th. It'll be our reading night, and we've already started planning that. Please be on the lookout for a parent input survey. We'll be releasing that tomorrow for parents to have some choice in the topics for our upcoming family engagement events, and also to give parents a voice for when those events will be. So as you know, we've been sticking with Wednesday and Fridays from a previous survey. We'd like to update that information to best meet our families' needs, so that will be out there. And then in addition, there will be a new family engagement event calendar coming out soon once we have all of our dates finalized for you. So keep a lookout for those two things. And again, we thank you for joining us, and we hope you can use these strategies at home, and we will see you in the office in the next couple days to pick up those kits. Thank you.